Hey, folks, it's Clint Powell back with Eric Buchanan and Associates once again, where I ask them just some very basic questions that you may find helpful. I've used Eric Buchanan and Associates because I have gotten the notice from the insurance company, and I don't speak insurance. And Eric and his team, they do speak insurance. And so I reached out to him. He was very helpful. And I thought, well, if I have questions like this, probably other people do as well. So I bring a different team member on each week and we just talk about some basic stuff. Today, I have Hudson Ellis with me. Hudson, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing, Clint?
I'm good. Let's go ahead and get the transparent part out of the way because attorneys, you guys are very polished. You're very professional. And I want to apologize to Eric Buchanan. We were just talking bad about him before we came on the air because we both love Eric. So I want to go ahead. If his ears were burning, that is why, because we were talking with terms of endearment.
We only said moderately bad things. It was very neutral, a little bit
Yes.
negative, but very kind of not very bad.
No, it was out of love. It was all out of love. All right, so here's the question I have today, and I'll frame it as clumsily as I try to be as least clumsy as possible. Long-term disability versus Social Security disability. The word
Okay.
disability kind of throws everybody knows disability. We hear that, but what are the differences in them? And then I've got a follow-up question after that, sir.
Well, sure. And yeah, the difference there's a lot of differences. There's a lot of similarities. Obviously, the biggest difference is that Social Security disability benefits are paid from Social Security, while disability insurance benefits are being paid by an insurance company, or in some cases by a company that is self-insured. So that's the big fundamental difference. They are both looking at if somebody is disabled. There is always criteria for what qualifies somebody for getting benefits, and that's where there's often also some differences. Social Security requires a very stringent disability that for most people is you can't do any type of work at all um, in any type of structured manner. Long-term disability or disability insurance can be defined differently in every policy. And so it could be you can't do your own occupation. You can't do your own specialty. Or sometimes it's you can't do your own occupation for a couple of years, and then it switches to a different definition after that that's more similar to Social Security's definition, which is any occupation. And there's all sorts of varieties, but the big key thing about Social Security and LTD is Social Security is defined by a statute. That's where you get all of your rules for Social Security all the time, or the regulations in the statute. Long-term disability is all based on the policy, and if you have a long-term disability policy, uh, you want to look at that policy and see what the rules are for your case, and where the benefits are going to be coming for your case.
The follow up, and I'm glad you actually instructed me that this is a typical. I'm assuming this is probably where there's other confusion or a typical follow up. Is how do they influence each other? Do they influence each other? Is there overlap in there somewhere? What's the relationship between those two? If you have a claim,
Well, there's a couple of main ways. First, most long-term disability policies will actually reduce the benefit that they pay somebody by how much you get from Social Security. So
yeah.
say you get $3,000 from long-term disability. If you're then awarded Social Security and you get $2,000, you're going to get $2,000 from Social Security, but your long-term disability company is probably going to stop paying you the full three and only pay you the $1,000 difference. So that's the first, and that can be kind of a shocker to some people. They think they're going to get both, and it depends on the policy, but most policies do offset for that. The other thing that comes into play is that your insurance company is going to be paying very close attention to the findings of Social Security. And I say very close attention because it's kind of shady the way they deal with it for most insurance companies. They're going to pay a lot of attention if Social Security finds that you're not disabled, um, but they're going to ignore it entirely or give it only lip service if Social Security finds you disabled. And it's really kind of dirty because Social Security's standard is so much more stringent than theirs that you could actually be found not disabled by Social Security and still qualify for long-term disability benefits if it's an own occupation or there's a specific definition there in your policy. But if you are actually approved by Social Security, that should be a huge deal for the long-term disability company because usually Social Security's definition is a lot more stringent than the insurance companies, but they ignore it. Or what we see a lot of times is they actually just have canned language. They'll throw a boilerplate paragraph in there we considered Social Security. We gave it great weight, but we came to a different decision because we have better doctors, blah, blah, blah. And it's all just a copy and paste job. And it's really frustrating.
Well, these conversations are designed to stay kind of short, but I will say, I'll summarize what you just said in layman's terms. And this is, when it suits their purposes, they'll use it. When it doesn't suit their purposes, they won't use it. And that's why you need somebody like you from Eric Buchanan and Associates. Bring in your policy, bring in your claim, and let somebody like you look at it so you can say, no, that's not how this is supposed to go. Let us get involved, right?
Absolutely. They try to take advantage of everything they can. And having somebody that knows how it works and knows how to fight back is just so important, especially before you get your final denial, when for a lot of people, the record closes. So yeah, if you can get an attorney, if you get us, or just you have to get an attorney to help you, or else you're going to get hosed. And of course, give us a call if you have that problem.
Well, I'm going to let you give the website and the phone number out, but I want to go ahead and wrap this up with another transparent moment. The very beginning, I was trying to say that I was going to make this transition as, not being clumsy. And I think retrospect in the last 5 minutes, re-listening to that in my head, that was maybe the most clumsy way to frame that question. So I'm glad you took it and ran with it. So much appreciated on that. Do me a favor though. Tell everybody how to get a hold of either you or a team member from Eric Buchanan and Associates.
Sure. Our phone number is 423-634-2506. And you can always call us there, and we'll get right to you. An attorney is going to look at your information and speak with you if we can help. And then our website is buchanandisability.com, www.buchanandisability.com. You can look us up.
That's perfect. Hudson Ellis, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.